Daytona before the speedway was built. There you can see it right there. And then briefly, you did see our poster for the Lima Land round here in the Americas region that's going to be coming up just a little bit later on this afternoon. My name is Tim. We have Khaled who's going to be bringing you these images once again. Appreciate you everybody coming along, and we're excited to get this thing going. We're going to be trying something a little bit different today. We're going to be doing a split screen format, so there are actually going to be two different races going on at the same time. We have race A there at the top, race B there at the bottom. So feel free to take a look at the leaderboard there on the right hand side, find your favorite driver and follow along the action. This particular format a little complicated, so we're going to try to explain it to you as best we can going along. As we begin here coming up, these guys are just wrapping up their qualifying laps to set up the running order for our heats. Now, the first round out of the gate will be the heats, and the format for that is we're going to have four drivers, 6 laps. They will progress to the consolation, which will be 8 laps for 6 drivers, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get to that point in time. But for these heat sessions here, we have 10 drivers here in Group A, 9 drivers in Group B. We are getting set up for our first heat here. It's going to get rolling here pretty quickly. If this is going the way I think it's going to, we are going to be doing the snaking effect. So drivers 1, 4, 7, and so on down the line will be partaking in Heat 1. You can see there Austin O'Neill, Sebastian Jackson, Hackenschott, who's there on your screen, Tom Dreiling there in Race A, Heat 1, and Group B, Heat 1. We're going to have Michael Hafledason, who is right there on the screen. Thanks to him for giving us that camera view. I believe we're going to have Shelley and Hutchison also in Group B joining him on the grid. So we are just about 40. Well, we got that sound. It was going up, not down there. So before the heat starts, for these heats, 6 laps around the Daytona International Rallycross track. It's going to incorporate a large portion of the infield section that they use for the sports car racing. But there's going to be some asphalt. They're going to start there on the asphalt. You'll see them transition over to dirt. There's a ramp with a significant jump, a very, very challenging race course for these guys to navigate. 6 laps will determine the starting order for the consolation race, and we'll explain a little bit more to that as we get to it. But we got 3 drivers lined up here in race A, and we are just waiting for the green flag. These will be standing starts as we have one more joining. I believe that was Tom Dreiling there. There's the light bar. We're going to see the lights come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They drop off, and we are racing Heat 1 here in Group A. It is a good launch for Austin O'Neill, possibly the hottest driver in the series at the moment, having just an amazing start to the season as we see him. A clean getaway. Now we get over here into the dirt, and there are so many hazards to navigate. You can see it right away there. We need to get over to the right side, and we have all of those bollards there. They're just waiting to hit you, but you got to use up every little bit of the track to get you set up for the jump specifically. As I believe we are going to the split screen for the first time. Group B, the start of that race upcoming right now, and that one is away just as we're completing lap 1 of Group A. Group B, we have Oscar Moten contact there to turn 1. 2 cars go off. Did not see who that is. We are looking at Jeff Schmeier. He is the Daytona 500 winner, and he's out early here. He'll gather back up, get us back on the racetrack, but tough start for him there for sure. The action is going to be coming hard and fast at everybody today. These are going to be very short races. See if we can get a quick view of it. Schmeier there off the line, cuts the grass just a little bit, and yeah, it looks as though the the other car, can't see the car number. Hutchison just kind of outbroke himself there just a little bit, contact into turn 1, so he has some damage, and we'll carry on. Again, not the end of the world if we have a bad race in this one. There are more opportunities to come along. Again, we're going to talk about that more here in just a little bit. But Schmeier there in 5th, trying to make something out of what's left of this race as we're riding along there with race A, and we go back to our split screen, checking back in with race A, excuse me. Austin O'Neill continues to lead as we ride there with Sebastian Jackson there at the top of the screen. In Group B, Haflidason continues to lead. He has an almost 3-second lead now over Oscar Milton, and then Michael Hogg there in third place as those guys will continue to battle out. We're already halfway through race A, heat 1. And these things are going to go fast, guys. We're only looking at about a minute and a half lap times as these guys navigate, excuse me, navigate the both the dirt and the asphalt. Great look here at the jump there as both Jackson and Schott got through there. Jackson spins out on landing. That jump is so difficult to get yourself set up for. You're slipping and sliding all over the dirt here. You really need to get yourself set up about 2 turns before you hit the jump to make sure that you are set up. Right here is where you want to be setting yourself up for it. And then, as you can see here, he just kind of bounced it a little bit. There's some technique to that. You want to make sure that you hit the throttle just right. You want to make sure you're off the throttle just before you hit that jump. Very, very easy to not stick the landing here. That is going to be a trouble spot all day long, regardless of these groups here. As we are back with Jackson, who elects to take his Joker lap. We have not had a chance to talk about that, but Joker laps are going to be required in every round here, both the heat, consi, final, and the main events. What that is it's effectively a shortcut. If you're not familiar with rallycross racing, it is a shortcut that you are required to take one time. There's a lot of strategy that plays into that as to when you're going to take that particular shortcut there, and Jackson just kind of struggling a little bit. It's very difficult. That's an incredibly tight right-hander, which feeds right onto the dirt. This is a very, very challenging race course here for these guys, as we see Michael Haflidason there hard at work going around this interior road course. There's that turn that Jackson had issues with just a second ago. That's a little bit more of how you should do it there. But again, that transition from from asphalt to dirt, when you are trying to put the power down, very easy to lose the car on exit, and you're also trying to gain everything on corner entry. Haflidason navigating that international horseshoe section of the sports car course. You can see the deviation there and navigates that jump quite well. You can see the suspension working incredibly hard there as he tries to get himself set up, making this rally cross format so challenging. You got to be super fast on the asphalt section, but the dirt section dirt racing on dirt is a completely different skill set that takes a lot of time to master. A lot of car control and the grip level. We'll talk a little bit more about that here as the racing goes on, as Haflidason takes his Joker lap here. We are coming to the end here of race B, I believe. Yeah, Haflidason, he is going to be our race winner, it looks like. And then we're great up for heat 2 already. It goes that fast, guys. This stuff, it's incredibly quick. It's going to be really fast paced as we work through the different heats and the main events. As I believe we are green for heat number 2 in Group A already. You can see there at the top screen, we're looking at the blimp shot there, trying to get some cars on screen for you. While we're waiting for that to come up, you can see there on the dirt, as there we go, we got some cars on track. We got Garen Batten currently running second to Michael Thomas here for the top 2 spots, and Joshua Hampton right behind him there. As we work lap number 1 of heat number 2 here in Group A, we are kind of bouncing all over the place, so bear with us here while we try to get these pictures to you as best as we possibly can. On the bottom of your screen right there, we have race B, heat number 2 about to start as we complete lap 1 of heat number 2 for race A, as we continue to ride with Batten there, as we have lights out on race B. And we have a big wreck. All 4 cars have kind of taken each other out there. It looks like Edward Shelley is going to be the survivor. All 4 cars having contact with Brian Barnes there, bringing up the rear there in 4th place. Looks like we're going to have a replay here coming up of that little kerfluffle there off the line, and those just 3 guys going for the same piece of real estate. Everybody trying to get that whole shot going into the international horseshoe here. Very much like a motocross style start where you want to get that whole shot. It's going to set you up for success throughout the rest of these races. And there is no time to bide your time with these heat races. They're only 6 laps. We're only talking about 7 to 8 minutes of actual drive time. You have to be aggressive right off the jump. So we're going to see a lot of contact as we progress through these races, especially in these early heat rounds when we're trying to get as much through there as much as we can as early as we can, because this does set us up for success in the upcoming consolation and the final rounds as well. And again, I keep saying it, but we'll talk more about that if as we get there. Great shot on board here with Brian Barnes. You can see just how tight that right-hander was, and you can see how much wheel movement is going on as we work our way through this infield road course, especially if we stay on this shot right here as we get to the dirt. You're going to see how hard Barnes will be working the wheel back and forth. The object here for the dirt is you really want to steer more with the throttle than you do the wheel, but you almost want to induce a slide and then steer in the opposite direction. So if you remember the old movie Cars where Doc says you got to turn right to go left, that's literally what you want to do. That's the technique here. So there's some accuracy there in that old Disney movie, but that is the technique here. And right here, especially for me, this is one of the tricky spots, just because as you're putting that power down, the transition from asphalt to dirt, very, very easy to lose the car right when you're wanting to put the power down, because that feeds onto essentially the longest straightaway of this course. So you're going to want to be very careful, very judicious, but also be as aggressive as you can get away with here. Um, Barnes getting a big part of the curb, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier, where you need to have that jump set up about 2 corners ahead of time, because it's going to throw you off as we go back to the split screen. Still riding with Garen Batten there in race A as we come around to begin what appears to be the final lap of heat number 2 up there. Michael Thomas still leading. He has a 4-second gap. Excuse me, Batten there holding a pretty wheel in second place. Looks like he's got it all under control at this point. Has a decent gap to Joshua Hampton back in second, and that race is going to be wrapping up here shortly. On the bottom, we're still riding with Brian Barnes, trying to make up some time as we go full now to Garen Batten. Just kind of just going through these different shots here. We get a good look at Daniel Thomas in the Ford Fiesta. I called him Michael a second ago. My apologies there. That's Daniel Thomas. In that Ford Fiesta, 3 cars on offer for this round. We have the Ford Fiesta that you're riding along with right there. We have the VW Beetle, which you have also seen, and then there's also a Subaru. These cars, very small hatchback style machines. A lot of power, a lot of grip, a lot of fun to drive. Again, very challenging course as Thomas comes around to take heat number 2. And here we are about to conclude heat number 2 for Group B as well. We're still riding with Barnes, but Shelley looks to be taking victory there as well as we begin to wrap this up. At the top of your screen, we have heat number 3. Again, we're coming at you quick, hard, and fast here. As heat number 3, we have Crisp, Scrivener, and Braun, and it's a much cleaner getaway for these 3 guys than what we saw in heat number 2 for Group B. These guys, much cleaner getaway. Quickly get single file as we work through the jump for the first time in their heat. We see Scrivener getting just a touch wide there as he landed from the jump. Coming in, trying to mount a charge as they slide through this dirt section here. Not going to be enough to get there as we go to the tight right-hander. And then we are really looking for the first time, really in any of these events. Scrivener kind of mounting a challenge there as we go to the preparation for the consolation for Group B. Group B slightly smaller, so they had one less heat race here, so that's kind of why you're seeing what you're seeing. As we are looking, again, we have a pretty good battle developing here in excuse me, in the heat race, but we are underway for the consolation here. We're riding there with Michael Hogg. It's a good start for these guys as well. This one will be 8 laps in duration compared to the 6-lap heat races, so a little bit longer. And this is where we're starting to get down into into money time, because this is what is going to determine how we begin to set up the final races and who ends up going to split 1 versus split 2 for the main event, and that's where the points are awarded. So the heat races, that's one thing. We're already starting to get into that pay window now where things are going to get serious going forward, as we begin to work our way back towards the pit out for the sports car course as we complete lap 1 of the consolation race. Again, this is for, excuse me, this is for Group B, as we see, looks like Half-Lidason there is staying on the main course. I did see somebody take their Joker lap right away, did not see who that was. Oh, Cal's telling me that was Half-Lidason that did take that Joker, so thank you for confirming that with me. Much appreciated there. The Joker lap. It shaves a good 2 seconds depending on how quickly you can get through there. So there is some strategy that's involved. If you have clear track, you can kind of take it whenever. If you're trying to get clear track, then that's when you'll want to kind of be very judicious about when you take that. We go back to the split screen. We have race A. I believe we have the consolation race number 1 underway for race A, or Group A as well. Oh no, this is still a heat race. Excuse me. As we see Scrivener get tapped and pushed into the wall, he's not going to appreciate that very much. We see Chris leading in that particular race, and the timing and scoring shows Braun is only half a second behind him, but we don't have him on screen at the moment. There we go. There's the battle. As we're working on what appears to be the penultimate lap of this heat race, and we are already halfway through the consolation race here on the bottom. So again, these guys are coming crazy fast. We have literally 2, sometimes it seems like 3 different races going on at once. We're doing the best we can to bring everything to you. Lots of action as we see Braun make the move on Crisp. He's going to go into the lead as we have begun our final lap here. I'm not sure, not sure if something happened there to Crisp. Oh, it looks like he took the Joker. That's what's happening here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And then I mentioned the Subaru. That's the first good look we've had of one there. Matthew Crisp driving one of those. So there you have all 3 vehicles that are on offer for this particular round. Great shot of it coming right into your living room there as they feed onto what is essentially a straightaway, even though there are some curves in the track. We're going to have a photo finish, and I think Crisp just got him. Wow, great finish there for the final heat up there in Group A. Although it looks like we're still racing, so I'm getting some mixed information here. So great battle though, regardless of what's going on, of where the finish was. We had a great battle here. So good look at Davis Braun there wrapping things up. So he did get that heat win. And so that is going to set up the Group A consolation race. As if we can go back to the split here, kind of see what's going on with race B. They're getting the getting the Group A set up. Here we are. We're riding with Jeff Schmeier currently in 3rd place. He is a little ways off the pace here. He's got about 4 seconds behind Moten. You can see the timing and scoring there on the right-hand side of your screen as we're working lap 7 of this consolation prize, and Schmeier there elects to take the Joker lap. You can see the shorter version of that compared to the deeper international horseshoe. So if you're familiar with the road course, as you're going into that international horseshoe, the course that you actually take, you'll see that short hairpin directly before your turn in. That's where those Joker laps are coming in. As we have a start for the consolation in Group A, we have Austin O'Neill, Braun, Hampton, Dreiling, and Scrivener as they work their way into turn 1. Looks like O'Neill's going to be getting the whole shot. Dreiling, a bit of an issue there, simple spin. Looks like he may have outbroke himself, lost it under braking. He's back up and running as the other 4 navigate the jump for the first time. Back to the split screen. We're on the final lap of the consolation race for Group B, we are riding with Michael Haflidason as he is working his way out of one of the final corner complexes leading back onto that start-finish straight, and he will take the victory here in the C main. As we go back up to race A, we are working lap number 2 now. Austin O'Neill leads as we ride with Joshua Hampton sitting there in third place. Good view of these guys as they work their way through through the dirt section again, the transition, dirt, asphalt, dirt, and then that big ramp where you spend a decent amount of time in the air. These guys have their hands full for sure. A few controls available inside these race cars. Obviously, you have your standard gear shifting. These typically run with a sequential shifter, no paddle shifters in these cars, but there's also an emergency brake to aid with the turning on the dirt section of this track. And then as we ride along there with Joshua Hampton, as we navigate through the dirt section, you're going to hear a lot of throttle modulation along with a lot of steering input. So there's quite a bit going on as we sit in the cockpit of one of these machines, this type of racing. A lot of fun to do. Very challenging, very difficult, but it's a lot of fun, especially if you can get it right. And as you can see, another thing that they're going to have to contend with on these dirt sections is the spray, for lack of a better term, coming off of the car in front of you. It's not water, but it's dirt, and it's going to affect your vision as we have the start of consolation race number 2 here in Group B, as we have Edward Shelley leading, Brian Barnes in second, Evander Jonesfield, who you are riding with now, just had some contact there. As we go full screen, can they get it going again? Gonna have to back out and get it going. Track narrows up there quite a bit, so if something goes wrong, it's kind of hard to get a quick flick spin to get your car pointed in the right direction. Just not a lot of space there. Both these guys are going, and they're going to keep fighting with each other. So pretty good battle developing here. They are unfortunately going to be well behind the 2 leading cars of this race. Got a replay as it looks like Thomas goes off there again. I don't think there was contact in that particular instance. But as you can see, these starts are crazy. There's a lot going on, a lot of contact. This is a full contact sport as we have the replay of Thomas and Jonesy Field as we go through. Thomas misses the jump a little bit, tries to get back on the track, and just kind of overcorrects and feeds right into the 505 there, that bright purple car. As they begin to gather back up, we're still in replay here for the second incident. I didn't think there was contact here, but let's take a look. No, just a slight over rotation there on the dirt section. So easy to do as these cars transition. Again, dirt to asphalt, grip levels are changing, and on the dirt especially, the grip level of that dirt is going to change lap from lap. So it's very much what you did the previous lap doesn't necessarily work this lap we're on right now. We're going to need to keep a very close eye on that, and the telltale sign as we ride with Brian Barnes here doing battle with Shelley. This is a battle for the lead. Shelley takes his Joker lap, and that's going to give him a bit of a gap. But as we come into this dirt section here, you're going to see the lighter colored ribbon of dirt that the cars are actually driving on compared to the darker stuff on the outside. The lighter the color, the drier the dirt. And the drier the dirt, the less grip that you have. And you're going to see that color change ever so slightly lap after lap. So the grip levels are constantly changing. These drivers may even decide to go a little bit higher up compared to what would be considered a traditional apex, simply because the dirt, or the grip, excuse me, is so much better on that particular section, maybe half a lane up, and we'll probably see that, especially as we get into the 10 and 15 lap races here later on, just because right now everything resets with each new race. But as we get into some of the longer races, you're definitely going to see drivers searching around for the grip in that dirt section. As we go back to our split screen, we are coming to the final lap of the consolation race for group number A. We're riding there with Austin O'Neill. He is leading and leading well, boasting an 8-second lead, 8.5-second lead over Braun there in the second place, and then Hampton is in third there. And then Scrivener bringing up the rear of that particular race. Meanwhile, at the bottom, We're just past the halfway. Edward Shelley, Brian Barnes engaged in a pretty good battle as they work their way through the dirt section again. I believe that third car in the mix is a lap down. I'd have to check the timing and scoring it is. Cal is confirming that they were. Thank you for that. Good look at Brian Barnes there. Riding in that Ford Fiesta. And then we have Edward Shelley in the VW Beetle just ahead of him there, and then this great shot. You can see everything pretty simple, straightforward here on this asphalt section, but as we transition onto the dirt right here, you're going to see a lot of counter steer, a lot of trying to get it set up for the jump. As we go in here, you can see right there to the right as he's turning left, and then he's going to cross back over as he makes the right hand turn. You essentially want to make one steering input into the direction of the corner and then just hold that slide using throttle control and counter steer. That's a good best way I could describe that technique there. As we are getting ready to start the second consolation race for group number A, um, we have lights coming up. We have 5 lights and we are underway. A bit of a delay there. Uh, 3 wide. Everybody got a pretty good start there. It's going to be hack and shot, trying to get there to the outside. Had a good run, didn't quite have the grip to get into the lead. Looks like Thomas is going to be our leader here in this opening stanza, but he goes off. So easy to do. Again, this dirt. If you don't have a lot of experience in the dirt, it can be a struggle. It can definitely be challenging at times, and made these drivers have their hands full. They've been putting the work in, but again, as far as I am aware, not a lot of them spend a lot of time on dirt. I'll include myself in that as well. As we go back to the split screen, race B looks like it is just finishing up, and Barnes got around Shelley to take victory there. So well done to him. They had been having quite the battle there for quite a while. Jonesy Field there coming around on your screen to wrap up that particular race. As we look at the race A, this is a really good battle as we go full screen. All 3 guys, they're fighting for the lead, and then Thomas there in 4th. They're going to be right there to pick up any pieces should there be any kind of coming together to take these guys out. It looks as though Hack and Shot is currently in the lead, but not getting away as we see. It looks like Crisp takes his Joker lap, and he will inherit the lead there. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about, the strategy. If you think your car is quicker, which Crisp probably does at the moment, you can take that Joker lap, get yourself some clean air. That does still matter here, even at these lower speeds. Are still moving at a pretty good clip, but relatively low speeds comparison. Allows him to get into that clean air. He's not eating the dirt in those dirt sections, allowing him to get a bit of a rhythm without having to worry about a guy right underneath him or trying to make a move. And that can go a long way in the strategy portion of this race as we're gearing up for race number, I believe this is going to be our main event on the bottom screen there. There's going to be about a minute warm up, so we'll have that action coming for you shortly. In the meantime, we will keep an eye on this B main events in Group A, as again, the leaders are spread out just a little bit now. That is going to happen as we see Crisp have a bit of a moment, bit of an over-rotation shot as well. Kind of slightly over-rotated, not quite as big a moment as what Crisp had. I'm going to be looking for these guys to take their Joker laps for too terribly much longer, and that's probably going to bring them all right back together. As we're riding there with Daniel Thomas. He's got Sebastian Jackson directly in front of him trying to find a way through. Working their way through the dirt section. Nice shot there. You can see just how much these suspensions move around on these rallycross cars. Very light suspensions, a lot of movable parts to withstand the transitions and the landings and the bumps. And as we see Jackson there, we'll transition to him. We heard some tire squeal in there. Looks like he had a bit of a moment. Oh my goodness, look at the rotation there, and he was able to bring it back without losing momentum. And that is crucial. It's fairly easy to, as we see, he kind of just over rotates it into that corner. That corner is incredibly tight. Very difficult braking zone to get in there as well. So these guys are having a battle. This is incredibly entertaining to watch, and it's pretty clean too, I must say. So easy to get into each other as we have the feature race in Group B getting ready to start. So keep an eye on that. We have 8 cars now compared to the 4 and the 6 that we have been previously running. As we have lights out, these guys are off. With this one being 10 laps, you do want to have a little bit of strategy per se, but at the same time, 10 laps is going to go very quickly here. This is setting up to see who goes to split A, or I'm sorry, split one and split two. The top 6 from this race that we're watching right now will transition over to the split one main, and then the remaining cars will go to split two. So there are a lot of points on the line here for this particular race, as we see Haflidason getting a good start. Moten behind him, Shelley rounding out your top 3. We're riding with Brian Barnes, winner of his consolation race earlier in the day after a really good battle between him and Shelley. We'll see if that replicates itself as this race goes on. Everybody getting kind of strung out, behaving quite nicely for now. Good view of your top 4 all in shot right there. A great view of seeing how these cars navigate these turns. You can see those suspensions working really hard. These drivers putting in those inputs, the gas, the throttle, the steering. It's kind of an art form to watch, and when it's done, it's a lot of fun. As we have a white flag here, unrace A, and we have a battle for the lead. It looks like Matthew Crisp and Hackenschott going head to head here, and it looks like Half-Lidation's going to take that one there. Oh, I'm sorry, Matthew Crisp. Wow, so much going on. I'm getting my names mixed up, guys. Sorry about that. Um, so as we are looking at our finishing order there, we're going to get the 10 lap feature for Group A going shortly. Again, Group A slightly larger than Group B, so we had to have one more heat race. That's why you're seeing this lag, for lack of a better term. As these as these features wrap up, we will have a bit of a break. It'll give us a chance to catch our breath, and we can kind of set up the main race as these drivers are going to transition to their own individual sessions, is what I was hearing from race control during the drivers meeting before the race started. But for now, we're still riding with Shelley here in third place. He's got Barnes right behind him. Again, those guys had a great fight in their earlier race. See if, again, if this can replicate itself. Haflidason leads in this particular round. He has a 3-second lead over Moten, and then Shelley is another 2 seconds behind those cars there. So we are currently working the halfway lap number 5. We're about to complete that here momentarily, halfway through this feature for Group B. Hope you're enjoying. Like I said at the top, it's going to come at you hard, heavy, and incredibly fast. Lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff that we're trying to keep on top of here. Shelley's gotten away from Barnes a little bit, and he has caught up to Moten. Pretty good battle developing here. Again, this is to determine who's going to make the top split, right? So as it stands right now, the top 6 drivers, I believe, will be the ones that will transition over to top split from these both of these group feature races, and the remaining will go to second split. So We can battle, we can fight. I'm all for it. I love to see on track action, but these guys right now, they may want to focus on just finishing this race, just making sure that they keep everything in order, don't cost them a spot in the in the top split. So we might see just some follow the leader type stuff. We'll just have to let that play out as we transition back to our race leader currently, Half Dason. 5.5 second lead for him. A good shot of him working his way through that dirt section over the bumps. And if you watch his hands, you can see that counter steer that he's putting in there as we transition back onto the dirt, back onto the asphalt, and back one more time. The top portion, we're about to launch the feature. We're lap 7 in race B. We are about to start race A. We have 5 red lights and we are underway. It's a really good hole shot there for Austin O'Neill. Really good jump at the start. He's going to lead into the horseshoe. And there was really close to having contact there between him and Chris. Chris almost got to the back of him, but we got away cleanly. As we ride here with Daniel Thomas. Crisp a little bit off on the ramp there. Can he gather it up? He does, but he is under attack now from Thomas. Thomas trying to get through. Can he make that pass stick? He's going to have the preferred line going into the right-hander, and he is through. Pass well done there. The dirt, so hard to control those cars on the dirt. Really well done by both of those guys, avoiding contact. Very clean, nice move by Daniel Thomas up to second place. Matthew Crisp has shown a lot of speed. We'll be curious to see if he can get back in the mix there. 10 laps, while still short, is a decent amount of time to put some work in. As we ride here with Sebastian Jackson, again, kind of you can see just how quickly these guys are going to get strung out. Again, only the top 6 are going to transfer over to the top split. So if you're in that spot, you really do need to kind of make your decision about whether or not you want to push hard, try to gain more spots, which is viable because that will determine the starting order. So the further up in the next race, the better your chances are going to be at overall victory when it's all said and done. Or if you're just trying to make the race itself, that's where the strategy part of it comes into play. As we're coming to the final lap of race B, there on your bottom screen, Half Dason has cruised out to an almost 10-second lead here as he will take the checkered flag. He will punch his ticket to the split one race. A little drift there in the International Horseshoe. Kind of love to see it. The top screen, you saw Sebastian Jackson go all the way outside those bollards. We haven't talked about penalties yet. Given that there are no pit lanes here in Rallycross, that is, if a penalty we see under replay here, the penalty has been determined. You have to go outside those bollards right there, do a stop and go, and then you can get going. And I am getting confirmation from race control that Jackson was serving a penalty there, so it wasn't a mistake. That was very much by design. Penalty served. He is moving on with the rest of his day. So if you see something like that again in any of the upcoming feature races, that's why. Good demonstration of that as we ride with, looks like Matthew Crisp currently in 3rd place, trying to run down Daniel Thomas. They had that great battle on the opening lap. I mentioned Crisp has had a lot of speed. We'll see if he can run that down. These guys are running about 5 seconds behind our leader, Austin O'Neill, who continues his dominant run to open up the season. Probably the hottest driver in the league at the moment. Just having a great start to the season with that Fusion team. Great onboard shots here with Matthew Crisp. You can see, feels like you're so close to being able to get there and try to put a move on, and then they just kind of shoot away, and it's an ebb and flow of this type of racing as we transition to a great overhead shot here. Looking at the winners of race B as they are beginning to make their transition over to the A main, I believe is what we're coming up to now. These races are coming at you hard. They're coming at you fast. We're already pretty far down the order in terms of number of races that we're going to be doing here. It's going to be a quick round. So this is your finishing order from that consolation race. So that green line there for Evander Jonesy Field, that is going to be, I believe that's the cutoff for the split one driver. So everybody above him has punched their ticket. Um, so they'll kind of hang out. They'll get a bit of a breather while we finish up race A, the A main there. We are about 7 laps into that one right now. As we transition back in there, this battle continues to rage between Matthew Crisp and Daniel Thomas. It's the best battle that we have going on the track at the moment, and we are looking to come across the line to begin lap 8 out of 10. So we will have 3 laps to go as we jump aboard Joshua Hampton's vehicle. He is currently in the cutoff spot to transfer to split one. However, Jackson, despite having that penalty, not that far behind him. And as you see him, he kind of takes a peek there going into the International Horseshoe. I'm not sure if these guys have taken their Joker laps yet or not. Definitely something to keep an eye on there as well. But this right here is these guys are going to be fighting really hard. Everybody wants to be in that top split for a lot of different reasons, broadcast rights, bragging rights, but probably most importantly for championship points. And I'm hearing that Schott has not yet taken his Joker lap. So that's going to give him, or I'm sorry, Hampton has not yet taken his Joker lap. So that will give him a little bit of breathing room when he does get there. So Callan feeding me that information. And we'll pass that on to you as we go back to the battle for second place. As Crisp has gotten through, Crisp is now in second place. Daniel Thomas currently in third, and again, these guys, if the race ended now, these guys are already going through as we take a replay here, and it was Crisp taking that Joker lap to make the move on Daniel Thomas. Again, strategy, when do you take it? Do you take it early? Do you take it late? Crisp deciding to take it late there, and it's working to his advantage. However, Thomas, oh my goodness, Thomas hit that baller that launched him through Crisp. Crisp was able to get through, and can Thomas get going? Braun coming up. He has a healthy lead on Braun, who is now right there with him. He may not lose anymore, but big moment there. Big moment for for Thomas there, as we see Jackson going into the wall as well, hard. His engine smoking. That is going to be the end of the competitive stint for him, unfortunately. That was a hard hit. These cars are really resilient, but that was a really hard hit to take. I think we have a replay coming up on the Thomas incident as we are crossing the line, I believe, to finish this consolation race. Austin O'Neill, your race winner. Matthew Crisp in second place. And then Thomas there in third. We have some replays coming up for you. This is of the Sebastian Jackson incident. This was so this is the penalty that we referenced earlier. And now we have the Thomas crash coming up. We can see here he's going to go off track just a little bit and then strike that sausage curb. To make lap time around here, you want to kind of just kiss that sausage curb. It's a very fine line between not getting enough and getting too much, and obviously took a little too much there. And then as we look at the Jackson incident, that looks like it may have been some netcode. I'm not sure what happened there. If anything, it looked like maybe netcode hit him with that tire barrier on what would have been his left side. Didn't look like he actually made contact with the car in front of him. No contact there. And yeah, it looks like he either brushed the wall or had some netcode, and it just kind of sent him, unfortunately. And maybe a little bit of frustration coming out there, perhaps. But yeah, that's our race. So the Race A feature results: Austin O'Neill, Matthew Crisp, Daniel Thomas, Davis Braun, Hackenschott, Joshua Hampton transitioning over to the A main. They will join the guys from Group B in the top split. We will have that coming to you shortly. So we'll take a minute, catch our breath. Like I said at the start, this stuff is a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to drive. Um, Lots to unpack there. We're working to get you a starting grid for the Group A, which we will be. I believe that we're covering just the Group A. I'm not sure if we're going to cover both sides here. I will get that information to you just as quick as I have it. But yeah, we are kind of taking a bit of a breather. We'll have the A main coming your way here in just a little bit. They are, like I said, with this kind of racing, the race control, the race directors here at the major series, they are going to have to launch an entirely new session, which will be coming online shortly with these guys as they transition over into And welcome back to Daytona. Appreciate you everybody sticking with us here for a little while. So we got a little bonus coverage coming for you. Ordinarily, we would transition just to split one, but because we've been doing this split screen style broadcast, we're going to go ahead and get all of it to you. So as you can see there on your screen, split one drivers at the top, split two drivers at the bottom. So we will have our primary focus on the top split, but if your driver is in split two, we'll still have that info for you here. Thanks so much for coming along. These guys, they were given about a 10-minute practice session, or a 15-minute practice session, excuse me, that is, so that the admins and race control can make sure that everybody gets gridded where they're supposed to be. And it also allows these guys to make some of those final adjustments, just get a little bit more practice in. And here we are. So uh, what this next session is going to do is for both splits, there is going to be a quick 6-lap heat. Nobody's going to get eliminated or anything like that. This is basically, think of it as just a 6-lap qualifying race to set up what will be our final set of races for the day. It will be the 15-lap the 15-lap feature. And at the end of that feature, we're done for the day. That is where the points are going to be paid out. We had Garen Batten jump in real quick, give us some very interesting information. Michael Haflidason. I was not aware of this until Garen shared it with me, but he has just returned from a Swedish sim racing tournament where he finished third for the entire country of Sweden in this rallycross style of racing. So there's a reason why he shot out to a nice second lead, because the man knows how to get around in rallycross cars. And then we have Austin O'Neill. I anticipate that they are going to be lining up side by side here as we work through this qualifying heat race. So that should be an absolute titanic battle between those two. Haflidason, incredible skill on the rallycross side of things. Austin O'Neill, no slouch on dirt himself, very skilled on non-asphalt driving surfaces. Couple that with the just incredible hot start to the season that he has had, these two guys should have an absolute epic battle upcoming. We're excited for it, but they're not going to be the only ones on track. There's going to be other guys coming for them. It's going to be a crazy start. Again, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the motocross style start, where these guys are trying to get that whole shot into that tight international horseshoe, which is a very tight right-hander. Lots of cars going to be funneling down. We're going to have 12 cars altogether for split one, I believe is the number. I may be incorrect, and if we are, we'll correct that here in a minute. But 12 cars going for a space that's ideally only about 2 wide. That start is going to be critical. It's going to be crucial to your overall race success. You cannot do the Joker lap on the opening lap. But I anticipate that we're going to see a lot of Jokers taken fairly early on while everybody's still bunched up. This will be the most cars that we have on track at any given time for this top split. And it's, like I said, that first initial start going to be pretty crazy. So we're counting them down. Split two has about a minute and change remaining in their qualifying session. Split one has a little over 2 minutes. That's going to lead us into our 6-lap heat race, and then the money payout race will be immediately following that. So we're going to shift our focus here over to split one as we see that transition. Good look at 505 one more time of Evander Jonesyfield. Just getting some last minute practice in. You can see our lap times here in the session so far. Haflidason on top, followed by O'Neill. Time to Shelley, very tight. Only 200ths of a second off right there, and then Crisp there right behind him. So these guys will be kind of beginning to wind down. They'll probably get another 2 laps here before we get into actual racing. Although that clock is counting up, not down, so we might have a bit of a discrepancy here. It might be closer to 5 minutes remaining rather than a countdown clock. So that is, I need to do a better job of reading that there on my part. So apologies for any confusion. And but we'll just sit back and enjoy these pictures. This is a lot of fun to watch these guys navigate this. It's a skill I will readily admit I do not possess. I have my own race coming up here. I'll be competing at Limaland in the Americas regions, and I have no illusions of what's going to happen there. It is not going to be a fun day for me personally, just because I do not have a lot of skill on the dirt. So watching these guys here that actually know what they're doing, a lot of fun. I'm trying to pick up some notes and maybe learn something along the way. Good shot as we ride aboard here with Thomas, and you can see I mentioned earlier the light versus darker dirt right now. Everything's nice and fresh, the dirt's nice and moist, but you can see right there on what it would be considered the standard racing line, we're already starting to see that dirt dry out a little bit, and that's only going to grow as the session wears on. Now the dirt does reset after every race. Okay, so the way the iRacing has it set up, the way Race Control has it set up, it is supposed to reset. Um, so they'll have this nice, fresh, sticky dirt that these tires can grip up very well at the outset in the beginning. But again, I alluded to it earlier on in the broadcast, especially for this longer race. This will be the longest race that these guys have had at 15 laps. Um, so we're probably going to see some elements where some guys are going to be kind of searching around a little bit, not necessarily straying too far from what you would consider to be a traditional racing line. I'm talking maybe in some cases just a tire width, half a car width probably. Um, Now, as we get to the later stages of this feature race, we may see a full car width, but that's also going to be interesting. Who can find that grip quickest? Who can employ that to their driving style? Who can use that to their advantage? Could very well play out who ends up winning these races. So just another little wrinkle to keep an eye on. It seems like no matter where we go, no matter what the track is, no matter the car, no matter the discipline, there's always about 1,000 different things that you have to control from the cockpit of these virtual race cars. This absolutely being no exception, as we get a really good shot from the Whiplash SimCam's drone view. Great shot of the Rallycross here at Daytona. We're using the old 2008 model. That's where the Rallycross track is located. So if you want to give this thing a whirl on your computer at home, that's where you'd find it. And yeah, we can see the old grandstand since been torn down. There's no Daytona Rising, nothing like that. It's all old school. So a little bit of nostalgia there for you as well if you decide you want to come back here. And one thing to point out here as we stay with this shot, um, that little lighter colored batch of dirt right there kind of in the center of your screen, that's going to be where the ramp is located. But what I want to point out too is the track widens, and then as you follow the racing line there, it also narrows into that left right complex. You can see it narrowed up quite a bit actually, so kind of hard to showcase when we're watching cars on track, but a real good shot of it right there. You can see it kind of looking straight ahead. Just one more little detail, little nuance to point out. As again, these guys are those little details. They're going to make or break your race. Being aware, hey, this narrows up once we get through the jumps. How do we set up that corner? Knowing and it's especially challenging, complex, given that they're literally flying through the air right before they get there. Which again goes back to the point I made earlier. You need to have your corners set up really 2, 3 corners ahead of time when it comes to that jump, especially. And then you can kind of see that tight right hander there at the very top of your screen, feeding back into a very short dirt patch, and then we see a little bit of curved asphalt. Good look at the International Horseshoe there. Again, if you're driving in the sports car racetrack, this would be turns 3 and 4 to feed into the infield section there. And then where that gate is located, that's the Joker lap. Cuts off a bunch of time there as we are waiting for cars to line up. We are at the end of our session. We're going to have a heat race here in just a minute. This is probably going to be considered kind of a sneak peek for what our final race is going to be. So I'm very interested to see how Halflet and O'Neill manage this. And Thomas will be joining them there on that front row. We have cars gridden up right now. So we are waiting for all cars to grid here. This will be a 6-lap heat race, and we are about 30 seconds or so away from what I am anticipating the lights going out. Just keep an eye on that light bar there, and that'll let you know when. And it looks as though we do have a full field of 12 cars by my count, and we are about to go racing. Here is the light bar. We have 5 lights, and we're racing. We got 4 wide from the second row. Austin O'Neill with the whole shot. There's contact. There's contact behind them, and it looks like Halflet Ace got involved in that. O'Neill with the whole shot, leading away from these guys. He's going to try to run away with this 6-lap qualifying race. We have a couple of drivers commenting here, requesting race control take a look at the start, which will be evaluated. We have more contact here. Jonesy Field, I believe that was Schmeier in the background. Have a car on his roof. That's Hutchison. What is going on? Again, and on the rejoin, he takes out another car. I believe that's going to be Oscar Moten. Yeah, that is probably going to end his race. Yeah, unfortunately, you can see it right there. So we have a wild start here in Split 1 as Split 2, their race also begins. Yeah, not what Halflet was looking for there. You see him. It does look like he's rallied up to 3rd place, but the time penalty, he's not going to be able to get up to O'Neill to contend for this heat win. I don't believe, given that we only have a 6-lap race, but you never know. We'll have to just kind of keep an eye on that. And there is still the 15-lap feature to come, so not all is lost here for him. But you see him taking his Joker lap there in Split 1. Quick peek down at Split 2. It's a much cleaner start. Garen Batten leading the way. We ride with Scrivener there on that second screen. There is a car taking a Joker lap as we transition over to Sebastian Jackson, currently running 3rd. There's Garen right there. He was kind enough to join us, give us that information about Michael up top there regarding his Sim Racing Expo exploits. So a big shout out to Garen there for feeding us that information. As we briefly go full to Split 2, Garen Batten doing battle with Thomas there in the 19 car. Pretty good fight going on for the lead here as they're coming around to complete lap number 2. And Thomas will hold serve. What can Batten do going into the horseshoe? He's going to take his Joker lap, see if that is going to get him a little bit more track position, and he will inherit the lead by doing so. Your top 3 in Split 2 there in screen. Good look at the 61 there as he navigates through, and you can already see that lighter color dirt that I was talking about. And I'm hearing in Split number 1, car number 101 has a long lap penalty for the lap 1 incident as we transition back to Split 1 full screen. Keep an eye on the 101. He's going to be that car coming from the inside there. Race control has deemed him a long lap penalty as we see Daniel Thomas there trying to get going. So we'll see him duck outside the bollards there at the top of the racetrack. Quick stop and go, then he'll be back on there as we take a look at a couple of the other crashes taking place. Looks like there's contact there between Schmeier and Jonesy Field. There was that 3rd car, couldn't see who that was, and then that's how Hutchison ended up on his roof, just little side-to-side contact. These cars have a higher center of gravity, so they do tend to flip fairly easily, and that's unfortunate for Wayne there. Just trying to give them space on the rejoin, and unfortunately just ran out of room. The high center of gravity I was talking about, you can kind of see it here as we look at Hutchinson, who is up and going again. I don't know if he maybe used a fast repair or what, but he's back in this thing. But these cars, they are very high off the ground, very easy to flip in scenarios like that. Not unlike a wing sprint car where you see them flip all the time. Similar concept there regarding just how high these cars sit. Uh, Great shot of the onboard with Hutchison, and look at the visibility. I mentioned earlier in the running here, as you're stuck behind a car that's in front of you, you're just kind of eating that dirt that they're flinging up through those particular sections of the racetrack. A good shot of it there as Hutchison and Hampton are battling here for the final spot in this split one heat race, and we are coming to the final lap, I believe, here. Again, these races go fast, so O'Neill is going to take victory here. Halflet Asen did rally to finish second, followed by Shelley, Chris, and Braun rounding out your top five. And we will re-rack them, and we're going to go for the feature as we go full to split two to wrap that one up. They are on their final lap. Garen Batten continue to lead. Sebastian Jackson has inherited second place now. Brian Barnes running third. Scrivener down there in fourth. Thomas in your top five as they will wrap up their race, and then they'll get set for their feature. It is going to be probably a little less chaotic down at Split 2 simply because of the lack of cars, as we see Jackson having a little bit of fun there after the race concluded, just to see how far he could go. And he's probably trying to vault that concrete wall. It's possible if you do it correctly. So maybe he's giving that a shot, just trying to have a little bit of fun here in between races. As we're getting ready to re-rack them here, again, it looks as though we have 6 cars there in split 2. We're going to have a full 12 cars up in split 1. So it is going to be a bit more chaotic here. Another great shot of the split screen here as we're getting set for our final race of the event. This is where the points are going to be awarded. All of the heat races, the consies, the warm-ups, everything is going to be coming down to this final 15 lap. We are hearing from race control there are going to be 2 penalties that are applied in the top split for an unsafe rejoin for car number 505, that's Jonesy Field, and car number 17, that will be Hutchison. They will be required to serve those penalties on lap 1, if I heard race control correctly. So they're going to have to jump to the outside of the boulders like we saw Jackson do earlier and serve that penalty there on lap 1. So we will have to look to make sure those appeals, or I'm sorry, those penalties get served right away. We are winding down. We are about 10 seconds away from top split gridding up for our final race. Again, we are going to go ahead and maintain our focus on that top split just because that's where our top runners are going to be located, but absolutely feel free to follow the action there in split 2. We'll check in on them when we can, but this is going to be I anticipate this is going to be a very chaotic opening lap. I am hearing that Jones is appealing the penalty that he has received, so we're going to have to follow up with race control on that. But those are future issues because we have a grid. We are getting close to split 1 feature race getting underway. This is a 15 lapper. It's going to be the longest race of the day. We are going to see 1 joker lap from each of these drivers. We're going to see those dirt conditions degrade. So this is a bit of a longer one. There may be some strategy at play here, maybe some patience. We're about to find out because the lights are coming up and we are underway for the final race of the day. O'Neill, great start there going into the horseshoe. It's much cleaner this go around, a little bit of contact in the back. Halfway base is slotting into second there. Shelley in third as we work through the dirt for the first time. O'Neill, great start for him, great jump from him, and we are clean so far. We're going to keep an eye on Hutchison to see if he serves that penalty as these guys begin to establish. And look at the dirt coming up there. Visibility for those guys from the mid-pack on back is going to be absolutely atrocious. Split 2, we start It's a clean start. Hutchison serves his penalty. We have contact. I believe that shot right there who is gone around. So we have some contact there. We'll work to get your replay here of that momentarily. As we begin to work lap 2, top split, Half-Ladason's taking the lead from O'Neill. We'll have to see if we can get a replay of that here as well. Lots going on as we go. Full screen 2, split 2, Sebastian Jackson, with whom we are riding right now, currently in the 4th place. Batten, Barnes, Scrivener, Jackson, Thomas make up your top 5 there in split 2. Clean start in both splits for this feature. And now we're going to try to get into a rhythm here in both splits as we begin to run these laps out. Again, we're going to have some patience. This is a bit of a longer race here as we are in replay, I believe, here in split 1. We're riding with Hack and Shot. This is coming to that right-hand hairpin. Looks like we had, that's going to be Matthew Crisp. Looks like he had some contact and unfortunately kind of blocked the track, nowhere for them to go. Crisp's incident coming through, and look at the visibility. That's, you cannot see a thing going through there. And he just mistimed it. Unfortunate contact with the inside tire barrier there. As we see Hutchison there in the background serving that penalty. We are back to live pictures. There is Hutchison currently running in the 12th spot. Going to try to see if he can salvage something from this race. We're working to get a replay of the Half-Ladason pass on O'Neill. We'll get that to you as quickly as we can, but he is currently in the lead of the top split race. As we can see the battle there, O'Neill not really letting him get away. He's still sitting right there in his tire tracks. So I look to see with great interest what this battle is going to look like as these laps begin to play out. This race is long enough that tire wear is probably going to be a factor. Fuel burn, we haven't really talked about that just because these races are so short, but fuel as it burns off could begin to affect the handling of these cars as well. And then I did mention the dirt degradation as well as we work through these 15 laps. Even though this is the longest race of the day, it's still going to go super fast. We're already 5 laps into it in top split as we ride with Half-Ladason there at the top. But we have a pass for the lead in split 2 as I believe it was, we switched right as I was looking at there. Batten was leading. I'm not quite sure who passed it, but Cal is telling me we have a pass for the lead there. We're full on split 1 right now. Half-Ladason legging it out just a little bit, excuse me. The lead up to 1.3. Cal is telling me the lead change in split 2 happened as a result of the Joker lap being utilized by Barnes, I believe it was. And so it does appear as though Batten has gotten back by him, though. So pretty good battle for the lead developing there. Top screen, yeah, Half-Ladason's starting to leg it out just a little bit, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, see if something materializes. Good shot of the two of them right there as they work their way through what's essentially a long straightaway. Even though the track itself does have some turns, you're able to straight line it through most of that stuff without too many steering inputs. We have more contact. Hutchison is involved again. He is around. He's got a lot of front end damage. Crisp there, some fender damage, and then Jonesy Field trying to get it turned around as the leader's coming through. Okay, he's going to tow back to the pits. That could have been big there with the leader coming through as we get a replay. Crisp just gets into him a little bit. Jones trying to hang on, almost over-rotated the car, lost his momentum, and that's going to allow Crisp to get into him. And then Hutchison, just an innocent bystander there, victim of a rejoin. As we ride with Hutchison here, you're going to see that purple car. Just first of all, the visibility is just nowhere to go, and then right there, nowhere for Hutchison to go. So we are not hearing anything from race control in terms of penalties or anything like that for that particular contact. I am fairly certain that will get looked at, however, so we'll bring you any updates on that as they become available. In the meantime, we have a battle for fourth developing here in top split. That's going to be Daniel Thomas, with whom we are riding, and he's got Ed Shelley right in front of him. So that's for third, excuse me, not fourth. as these guys are beginning to run each other down. We don't have a way of showing who has taken what Joker lap. I unfortunately do not have that information. Callan's feeding it to me. As soon as I hear it, I pass it along. So I'm not sure if these guys have taken their Jokers yet or not. If they haven't, that's going to be something that we'll want to that we will want to keep an eye on for this particular battle. Khaled is telling me the top two have already taken their Joker laps, so it's going to be a straight up fight between these two. And then Shelly and Thomas, who we're watching right now, Khaled's also telling me these guys have not yet taken their Joker laps, as it looks as though Thomas got through there. That looks like an incident where Shelly went wide into that tight right-hander, coming back on it. If I am Shelly, I take my Joker lap right there to try to get the place back right away. He elects not to, though. So we got a pretty good fight going on with these guys right here. A lot of fun to watch as they work their way through the jump. One more time, really good shot of it. It feels like you were just in the air forever when you are in the car. And a lot of fun to drive these things through this infield road course here at Daytona. We are already 10 laps into our top split race. Haflidason, the gap is currently out to 3 seconds for the lead, as we switch to our race leader there, working his way through that infield section yet again. Really nice job. You can see just how he rotates the car, has it under control. O'Neill in hot pursuit. See if we can get a battle here before this race ends. O'Neill's going to have his work cut out for him, though. Coming to just 4 laps to go, as Shelly and Thomas continue to squabble over that 3rd place. We do give out real life prizes for the podium finishers, so that spot is definitely going to be contested, because if you can get an actual trophy, you want to get that actual trophy. So Thomas and Shelly, I think, is probably the best battle on track at the moment. We'll continue to ride here as we switch back to those guys here. Shelly got back through Thomas. I do believe I saw a yellow flag pop up momentarily, so Shelly may have taken his Joker. As we have a replay here of the overtake. Okay, so Shelly does go wide. This goes back to a couple laps ago. We were zoomed in on Thomas when that took place, so that allowed Thomas to get through. And then we have Shelly. This is what I said. If I was Shelly, I would have taken the Joker. He did not. They continue to hold serve. My guess is Shelly probably took his Joker 1 lap later and was able to get back through Thomas. As we're still in replay, actually, no. Thomas goes wide. Thomas goes wide, and that allows Shelly to go back through. So favor repaid there, as these two guys are putting on a great show. A lot of fun to watch these guys battle it out. Very curious to see who's going to finish that one out. As we check in with our Daytona 500 winner, Jeff Schmier, currently running in the 6th place. Solid day for him. Made his way through the consolation races, the heat races, made it here in top split. Currently holding serve there in 6th place. As we jump aboard, get a really nice shot going into the international hairpin. Once again, as we are on lap 14 of 15 here, we are near the end of our race here, guys. This is, they go fast. There's a great shot. That's the first onboard we've had of the ramp there. As we check in with split 2, a little bit of action going on here. This is Sebastian Jackson and Garen Batten, I believe. Barnes has taken the lead. He has driven to a 17-second lead. The battle is on for 2nd place. They are on lap 15 out of 14. Top split, we are on our final lap here. Michael Haflidason, he has a 5.5-second lead over Austin O'Neill. So unless something crazy happens here, I would anticipate he is going to take victory there in top split. We'll see if we can jump on board with him here in a second. As we see Jackson spins out from 2nd place there in split 2. Spun his way out. And Haflidason, has he spun, or are these celebrations? Cal is telling me he has spun, so we have a race. We have a race on our hands. And okay, so that was after the checker. Okay, so that was the after the checker. So Half Dason does take victory. Sorry, we had a lot going on there at the end. Half Dason takes the victory. Austin O'Neill in second place as we are wrapping things up here in the top split, and that is our race for the Dirt Derby. Half Dason takes the victory. O'Neill, Shelley hangs on for that third place. He and Thomas had a great battle, and Schmeier's coming home here in just a minute. We will see. We will see if he is able to hang on and hold serve there in the sixth spot. And the bottom, we have Brian Barnes. He has taken the victory in split number 2. Garen Batten finishing second. Sebastian Jackson rounding up your podium there for split 2. And yeah, that is gonna do it, guys. We have an event. All the cars have now crossed the line. They will be bringing it back into as we have a replay of the Half-Lit Dayson crash. This is just before the checker, trying to work his way around a lapped car, potentially keeps it going. And Austin tried so hard to get there, not quite there. Yeah, just hanging on. And that's why you never just listen to some information from race control. My apologies there. There is a discussion going on amongst the top 2, so there might be something brewing there. But for now, we will show our finishing order here. So Half Dason, currently your race winner. Shelley and Thomas. O'Neill got bumped down. Did not see that during the actual race, so we'll have to run that down to figure out what happened in that regard. But Davis Braun rounding out your top 5. Jeff Schmeier, Oscar Moten, Joshua Hampton, Hackenshot, Matthew Crisp. Hutchison, a bit of a rough race for him with the penalty right out of the gate, and then Jonesy Field involved in a crash. Unfortunately, had to retire early on, but that is your finishing order. Split 2. Since we had some bonus coverage, Brian Barnes take the victory from Garen Batten. Those two had a pretty good battle with each other. That was fun to check in. And then Sebastian Jackson finishing on the podium. Well done for him. Nice recovery after spinning. After a spin, managed to hang on to it. Brian Scribner in 4th, Gary Thomas in 5th, Tom Dreiling 6th, Michael Hogg rounding out the field. He had some issues early on as well, given that he's 13 laps down. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for coming along with us. We do, I believe, have some interviews coming up. We have Michael Halfledason coming in for an interview here in just a moment. So we will have that for you momentarily. And welcome back. We have our race winner, Michael Halfledason. Congratulations. Walk us through your race. The heat start was pretty insane, but a little bit more straightforward from the feature. So just kind of walk us through what it looked like from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, the feature was kind of straightforward. I know I had a pace over Austin, so it's just I know I didn't have the best of starts as I haven't practiced anything this week. So once I saw him like out in front, I tried to get the Joker done as early as possible, get clean air, and just try to build a gap as quick as possible, which I just about managed. And then after that, there was clean race. Nothing happened until the last lap where I just got caught up by the back markers, locked my rear tires, and spun off, went into the wall, and then came out on track, and that was Austin. I apologize to him, and I'll say it here again. Like, obviously, didn't mean to hit Austin in any way, and I really hope he gets that at least second place reinstated because he should have had that. Like, he ended up in the wall, but obviously, we all know he is second place.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wanted to ask about that as well. With the lap car being right there, it's so difficult to kind of get in there, especially when you're coming to the last lap. You've kind of been in cruise mode the whole time. So, um,
Yeah.
what was going through your mind there when you lost the back end of the car on literally the final corner of the race?
Well, a lot of bad words.
Yeah,
Uh, and then the realization of I still got to get into the finish line and just chaos, panic, hit the wall on the inside instead, like just not thinking straight at all, and just a total mess, honestly.
Okay, awesome. Now, Darren Batten joined us in between the heat sessions, and he informed us that you recently were part of a Swedish national rallycross competition. Can you just kind of walk us through what is it about the rallycross format that appeals to you so much?
Rallycross was actually last year for us, but yeah, I don't know. I guess being a Scandinavian and just driving sideways is fun.
Short and sweet. I love it. Awesome. Well, congratulations again, Michael. Before we let you go, anybody here that you want to give a shout out to or anything like that?
Yeah, shout out to the team for being as supportive as always, and shout out to Crispy for actually managing to help me with the starts there because I had two terrible starts in my B splits and just helping me get the grips with the starts. I didn't get but last in the starts.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again. We're going to go ahead and let you go and enjoy this one, and we will see you next time.
Thank you very much.
And we now are joined by Austin O'Neill, second place finisher in today's race. Austin, up and down, a little crazy there in the heat race. Walk us through your race, especially that last lap. What did that look like from your perspective?
Yeah, I just getting to the feature and putting myself on the pole was I knew it would be tough because Michael was just I mean like I had decent pace but I mean race trim late in the run like dude was just a rocket and I had a that just I felt bad but the door was open to throw a haymaker block on him in that heat race and I had to do it and um yeah, I just kind of dropped the ball in the feature. I should have taken the Joker on the first go around, and I wasn't really planning on it. Planned on it too late, kind of missed it, and just like I don't run rallycross that often, so it was just driver error at that point, and I knew I gave it away, and I was just trying to finish the race and not go off the jump wrong or whatever, and yeah, I got to that last corner and I seen a car was sideways and I thought it was a lap car or somebody else and I looked over at my relative and it was Michael and his Delta was coming down to me and I was like, all right, well, I got to hustle and yeah, I seen him coming back across the track and I wasn't lifting, he wasn't lifting, and we came together. I was hoping that I got there in time and I looked at the results and it was like 2/10 or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of tough to go out that way. But I mean, I didn't expect that at all. And he's gonna be tough to beat the rest of the year. So if I can just grab a couple points on him, I mean, I can take what I can get.
I love the attitude you showed there. The you weren't going to lift, he wasn't going to lift. That's what it should be. So I love to see it here. You have gotten off to such a hot start to the season. Is this like I know you're a great dirt racer, but is there really any kind of races coming up where you just are not confident about just because we've had so many different disciplines already, and you've just dominated all of them so far. So is this just kind of yours to run away with at this point, or what are your thoughts on that?
No, it's way too early, and I've had a great start to the year. Just we've got lucky with stuff that I'm pretty decent at, oval stuff, and now we come run dirt this weekend. So stuff that does kind of fit my wheelhouse. But I mean, I can be great at every discipline, and run through the whole year, and be like Nathan last year, where we just come up a couple points short. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, and you just got to give your best effort every week, and if it works out, I mean, it works out. If it doesn't, I'll come back next year and try again. But this year has been dedicated to where's my strengths and where's my weaknesses at, and figure those out, and try to improve so that we go to those races. I'm never dropping the ball, and I can at least walk out of there saying that I gave my best effort.
Well, you certainly put in your best effort today. A showed out on the track. Never say die attitude. Almost got you another win. But thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations on the second place finish. Anybody want to shout out here before I let you go?
Yeah, just everybody back at Fusion. We had a pretty good day. Ed Shelley and Daniel Thomas were, I believe, third and fourth behind me. So it was a good points day for us. We had it was it was a little unknown, kind of what to expect going into this round with, everybody not really being, dirt guys, but worked out pretty good. I think they'll be probably in a decent spot for the points going forward. But if outside of the Euro stuff, everybody back at Fusion on both the Americas International and Euro side, it's a collective effort between us all, and I can't thank them enough. And we'll see what we can do later tonight.
Awesome. Well, I'll be running that race later tonight. I'll be the guy that you lap like every 2 laps probably. So I look forward to seeing you then, Austin. Thanks again for your time, man. We'll see you in a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Thank you.
All right. That was Austin O'Neill. We are going to have Edward Shelley here momentarily. I'm also going to throw out real quick because we did have both splits. We're going to be interviewing a couple of drivers from Split 2 as well. So a little extended post race coverage for you guys here. Cal is working on getting Edward here in for us. Really looking forward to having that conversation with him just because that was a fantastic battle that he had there with Thomas. So we'll have him just in a minute. So stick around. All right, we got Edward Shelley joining us right now. Ed, you and Thomas had a fantastic battle. That was a lot of fun to watch. You go wide, he go wide. Just an absolute show you guys put on right there. Just kind of walk me through what that was like for you.
Yeah, thanks. To be honest, like I have a bit of like imposter syndrome here because I don't really feel like I had the pace to be up there with these guys at the top. I think I like slowly improved throughout all the heats and everything because to be honest, didn't get that much practice in. I'm actually kind of sick as well. If, I don't know if you can hear in my voice. So it's been a rough week, but yeah, like it all came together in those last few heats. And yeah, with Daniel, I mean, he's a teammate, right? So I was mostly trying to not do anything that would like trip him up or we wanted to race, but at the same time we weren't gonna like door bang through like some of these more risky corners. But yeah, no, it was good fun. And to be honest, we both made some mistakes that allowed each of us get past. And I felt like Daniel had the better pace than me overall. But yeah, I'll take it.
Very well done. Well, first and foremost, I hope you feel better soon. We can hear it in your voice. It's allergy season here in the U.S., so hope you're feeling better here shortly.
Yeah, thanks.
Um, yeah, just how do you the rallycross? It's such a niche discipline. Is this something that you dabble with a lot, or is this kind of where you just only came in for this race? Like what does that program look like for you and your team?
It's kind of a thing that where you dust off the round wheel for major series when the dirt round comes out. It's definitely not something that I run in officials. Actually, I think I'm still a rookie in officials.
Gotcha.
But it's super fun, Like I was talking to Michael just now, and he's an expert, and his pace is obviously incredible. But there's all of these like little things that you learn with the rallycross about like how to drive the car, how to like find grip, using bits of grass, which it turns out like you can get more traction on the grass, like positioning the car right. It's kind of fun to like figure out. I don't know if I would run it like all season round, but it's always a round that I look forward to.
Awesome. Well, again, you guys put on a great show. Thank you for joining us. Before I let you go, get some rest here. Anybody that you want to shout out?
Yeah, I mean, as usual, all the fusion team. Especially in weeks when I can't do much practice like this one. They have everything ready to go. They've explored setups. They've got paints. They're telling me all the ins and outs of the rules and stuff. So obviously, Garen himself puts on a ton of effort into just running the event, but then all the other fusion guys that are putting in like the laps throughout the week. So yeah, it's super fun racing with them, and I wouldn't want to race with anybody else.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that and appreciate you stopping in. Congratulations on the podium, and we will see you next round. Go get some rest and feel better soon, okay?
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. And Michelle finishing third here in our top split. We are going to be transitioning over to a couple of our split two guys. We will have our race winner for split two, Mr. Brian Barnes, momentarily. So we are looking forward to that. All right, I am now joined by the Split 2 race winner, Brian Barnes. And Brian, compared to the top split, which got a little chaotic at times, yours was a little bit more tame, and I use that term very loosely. At the start, you and Garen had a great battle throughout. So just walk me through what your race looked like.
No, it was definitely a real clean, good start this time. And this time I put enough fuel in it, else why I think I would have been in split one, but
Oh,
I
no.
ran out of gas in my qualifier. So
Oh, no. Yeah, the car's not going to go very far if you don't have fuel in it. That is for sure.
yeah, yeah, I made 9 out of the 10 laps, so that
Uh,
wasn't good.
oh, heartbreak.
But still, it was a lot of fun in this split. Thank the European boys for letting me come and invade their turf, and that was just a lot of fun. Me and Garen had a great battle for the first few 5, 6 laps or something like that, and then I took a joker and to get out in front of him and never saw him again. So I don't know if he had trouble or what. but
Yeah, we were watching at the beginning when you and Garen were having that fight. It was a lot of fun to watch. You guys drove clean, you drove well. So really good fight there between you guys. Um, Now, Brian, you and I, we've raced against each other a little bit. You are very good at short tracks. You're very good on dirt. How do you feel about this rallycross combo where you get to do both?
I love them. Yeah, been running the cross car since it came out. For more dirt action, and it's a blast too. So anything that slips and slides, I like to do, and which includes Nürburgring, I guess, for me, because that's the way I drive that place.
I love it. Yeah, yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. You're one of the guys that's always a lot of fun to race with and against. So congrats to you for the victory here in Split 2. Are you anybody you want to shout out here before I let you go?
Thanks to the Dog Bear team for for still having me on their team for all these years. Haven't
Awesome.
kicked me out yet. So yeah. Other than that, thanks for the throwing a split two up there. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this now.
Yeah, it was a fun battle, man. So hope you enjoy watching it if and when you go back. And I think I saw you. You're going to be racing tonight at Lima Land as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, I'll be
Awesome.
there.
All right. Well, I will be there as well driving. So I will see you in a little bit. And you enjoy your day, sir.
All right, good luck tonight.
All right. Thanks. Same to you. And now we are going to invite our second place finisher, Garen Batten, last but certainly not least. So we're going to get him here in just a minute. All right, we have Garen Batten finished second here in split number two. Garen, you made it very clear before we went live that you were here for a racing decision. I'm probably going to ask you a couple questions about your race specifically, but what is the race control decision that you're wanting to speak to us about?
Yeah, so the final corner that in top split, the incident between Michael and Austin, because we are no longer in a rush, that's going to go to the full stewarding panel for review. I have to remove myself from that decision because Austin and I are teammates, so I won't be part of that. But yeah, we'll take our time and we'll get lots of opinions on rejoins, fault, uh, was enough room given, et cetera, et cetera. And the other thing that we will do, because we're in control of it, obviously the penalty which Austin was given for crossing the finish line outside of the banner, will be undoing that penalty that iRacing assessed to him. So, yeah, that penalty will be removed. And I believe that the gap that the two of them had over the car that crossed the line in third place was enough that they will finish 1-2 regardless of the outcome of the stewards review. I just don't know what order they will finish in yet, but yeah, that's the process that we're going to go through for that one.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that. We were actually having that conversation. We were kind of wondering what was going to come from there. So thanks for jumping in and providing us that clarification. Do appreciate it. So definitely more to come on that. We'll have to keep an eye on the Major Series website for those updates when they become available. But since you're here, let's talk about your race just briefly. You and Brian Barnes had a amazing battle early on in that race. Can you walk me through it?
Sure. I mean, Brian had something go on in the first lap of the heat, so I started from pole, which gave me the run. And look, I am 100% sure that he was just sitting behind me, biding his time. He was way faster. He obviously deserved to be a split one car, but had the fueling issue, I believe. Yeah, he was always going to come past me at some point. Um, what you probably saw in the replay you just saw then, you see me flash a couple of times. The reason that I locked up my brakes, went wide, and he got past me was because the latency, disconnection flag, whatever, suddenly appeared in the middle of my screen, scared the crap out of me. I
Oof.
missed my braking point, and so yeah, slid long, and that's how he got past me. But he was always going to get past me at some point anyway. So yeah, look, unlucky to Brian for yeah, you can see me there, just completely messing it up. Yeah, unlucky for Brian to miss top speed because he had plenty of pace, and I think he actually would have been quite competitive in that race as well. But at least he chalked up a W in split two. So yeah, well done him.
Awesome. Well, it was a great battle that you guys had before that latency issue. That's always that's always anxiety inducing for sure. So unfortunate for you that it happened right there. And it always happens at the most critical part when you miss a breaking point, just like you described. Um, any shout outs for that you want to give out there here before we let you go?
Look, I mean, the Fusion team work really hard on setups and things in all of the major races that we do, and so thanks to the advice that people that actually know what they're doing on dirt, which I'm not one of, that they shared amongst the team. But I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming and doing it. I know that dirt, particularly dirt road, is not necessarily the most popular thing on iRacing, and numbers were down a little bit today, but I hope that everybody that came had fun, took it in the right spirit.
Yeah,
And appreciated the different format, and something a little fun and a little more jovial for a majors race for once. So yeah.
well, it was a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. This package doesn't get the love it deserves, I don't think. Always a lot of fun when we pull these things out. So, you guys put on a great show. And are you racing at Lima Land tonight? Am I going to see you over there?
Yes, I'll be
Awesome.
turning left and then left and then left and more lefts later on. Yes, so I'll be there.
Excellent. All right, Garen. Well, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sharing the race control information. We will keep an eye on the Major Series website for any updates there. Congratulations on the runner-up finish here in Split 2, and get some rest, and we will see you on track here in a little bit, okay?
Yep, thanks for your work, guys. Yep, appreciate it.
All right, take care. So that was Garen Batten, our second place finisher. He does so much for the series. He runs the podcast. He does a lot of race control. He runs the Majors Endurance Championship. One of the really good guys of the sport. So thanks to him for popping in, doing a quick interview, and then giving us a race control decision. Definitely for sure keep an eye on the